This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. Hi guys. Is it audible? First of all, tell me, is it audible and able to see my screen? Can you please unmute yourself and please respond?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay. Can I get information from all so that we can start?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. My name is Sujit. I'm having total 9+ years of experience in IT, and especially in Mule, I have 4+ years of experience, and I trained around 26 plus batches in this Mule 4 itself. And this course is specially designed for the certification. As you see in the screen, I have written MuleSoft 4.x. MuleSoft is an organization, and we are going to use Mule as an ESB. And this 4.x means it's a version of your runtime, Mule runtime. Okay, that's why I written MuleSoft 4.x. X is the latest versions keep on releasing, so I will be keep on updating the updates we have, right? So this is the short introduction of mine. And can you please go ahead with your introduction, one round of introduction, very short introduction, so that I can understand the background of yours, so that I can customize the course. Can I start with Rohit?
Yeah, Rohit this side from Hyderabad. I am currently working with UST Global. I'm a Salesforce admin.
Salesforce admin. Okay. Just tell your name, what is the domain you're working, if you have any integration knowledge. That's it. Yeah. I can see Priyanka.
Hello, Sujit.
Yeah.
I am into TIPCO integration.
Oh, Tipco, very good.
Yeah.
Okay. How many years of experience you have?
6+.
Very good. Okay then. Okay. Asif.
Yes, Sujit.
Yeah, Asif. Please go ahead with your introduction. Okay,
Actually,
I got it.
I don't know.
Okay, you connected to me, right? I got it. Okay. Yeah, Ananya.
Okay,
Hi, Sujit. I'm with
Hi.
DXC Technology, working as an RPA developer from 2 years.
RPA.
Yes.
Okay, done. So let me go ahead with this. In this introduction, in this demo video, in this demo session, what I'm going to discuss is uh, what are the topics we have. I mean, what are the topics I'm going to cover, and uh, what are the prerequisites you required in order to clear the certification. First of all, if you want to go ahead with the MuleSoft, first of all, you need to have a certification in your hand, right? So once you join this course, okay, I can give a guarantee that you can clear the certification. Okay, I trained 26 plus batches. In that, who and all appeared for the exam, they have cleared it. I don't have any negative comment till now. So successfully. So it totally divided into three parts. First, I will be talking about how the structure of this course, how the 22 hours is going to be, okay, how the hands-on experience you will be getting, right? Everything I will be explaining in the first half. The second half, I will be talking about what the topics we have and what are the prerequisites, and what are the prerequisites for your system as well, right? So let me start. So MuleSoft 4.x, the runtime, we are going to use a version 4, Mule 4, and we have Anypoint platform. Anypoint platform is a product of MuleSoft. Okay, you need to purchase an account with the MuleSoft. I mean, Anypoint platform account. So I will tell you how to register and how to create an account with the Anypoint platform, right? And we are going to target for what is the certification? MCD level 1 fundamental course. And how this course is going to work. See, I have written here 60 and 40% ratio, but it totally depends on how you are going to approach. That means whether it will be 60, 70%, 30%. That means only first 2 to 3 hours only will be of theoretical part. Remaining every part, everything is in practical. Everything is a practical. Every session is a practical. So from third session onwards, we are going to start with the hands-on. The first two sessions also, in order to make you understand what is a Mule, what is an integration tool, what is an ESB, in order to make you to understand, I will draw some pictures and make you to understand about that. And it consists of, say, my course consists of many practical resources. I'm going to show you what are the practical resources, what is the structure, what is the design of this course, and all related softwares I will be giving in a single folder. You don't need to go to different product owners and no need to download it. Straight away you can download my zip file and you can extract it. It contains all related softwares and documentations. Okay, yeah, this one also similar. Every step by step word documentation will be there for each and every session. Okay, just by the time of when you open this documentation, already you heard the session, so you will be understanding what are the terminologies I used in the session. At the same time in the documentation as well, you need to read it, you need to go through it, and you need to work, I mean you need to practice it. Where you will practice? For every training, how to get a hands-on experience is very important, right? In every training, so it's a purely hands-on training. There is a pre-built workspace which I will follow start and solution project approach. In the start project, that means you need to read the document and you need to practice. In the solution project, already the solution is already available in the project and given to you. Whenever you stuck somewhere, you can go ahead and see the solution project. Still, if you're not able to get, next day I will be available, you can ask me. Okay, I will show all this stuff. What is the build, what is this pre-build workspace, start project and solution project, documentation, everything I'm going to clear in this demo session itself. Of course, I'm not going to talk about a tool. It's a very open, it's an integration tool. If you browse, you'll understand it's an integration tool. From day one onwards, we are going to start what is an ESB from basic, from scratch. Of course, if anyone having some integration knowledge or mule knowledge, I will treat everyone as zero in this mule, because it's a mixture of people. I want to start from the scratch who are not having IT knowledge, also from non-IT background. I need to take care of them, so I will be starting from the roots. And we'll come to the computer your requirements, computer requirements, like download the course files from the Way to Learn Online. So right now I'm not using this. Way to Learn Online is a personal domain. Right now I'm not maintaining it. I will be giving my personal drive access. You can download directly from there. And you require JDK 1.8. Okay, not even higher versions. JDK 1.8 is an compatible version with this AnyPoint Studio. Okay, I'm going to talk about what is an AnyPoint Studio, and you need to set up the environment variables in order to start up AnyPoint Studio. That also I will be guiding. Only you need to do, you need to download that file and keep it on your machine. That's it. Everything I will be guiding from there. And you need to have AnyPoint Studio. That zip file also I have given. I will show you how to download from directly from the MuleSoft. And I will be using a Postman. Postman is nothing but a browser. That means Google Chrome is one of the browser. Like that, we have Mozilla browser. Like that, Postman is also nothing but a browser. But we have right to have get method, post method to make some REST calls. So I'm using a Postman as a client, right? And you need to have AnyPoint platform account, right? After 3 sessions, we are going to create AnyPoint platform account. It is a 30 days trial version given by the MuleSoft, okay, in order to learn for training purposes. After 30 days, you can create one more account. That's not a big deal. I will tell you how to create one more account as well. Okay, now let me show you what are the documents I'm going to give, how to practice. This is the folder which I'm going to use, right, which contains some zip files and some software setups. See, we can have MySQL installer. We are going to use MySQL and Postman, just now I said, and SOAP UI in order to consume SOAP services. And we have JDK. First starting point is JDK. If you're not having, your machine has not having any Java on your machine, then you can go ahead and install with the JDK. And we have some PPT for exceptions handling. Why I have given only for exception handling? Because I'm not going to use any PPTs in my program. I will be drawing on my board. Okay, this is my board. I will be keep on drawing, okay, whatever I speak, in order to make you understand very easily, right? So these are the drawings we have. I will be explaining it with an ease and you can understand very easily. Okay, trust me. Right? Next. Once you extract this Mule4 labs in workspace, you will be having a folder in this way, which contains all the documents which I'm talking till now. Okay, for every session we have a lab documents. These are created by me, not downloaded from anywhere. I have created all this by using use of documentation. Okay, let me open one of the so that you can understand. I will use RAML part 1, which is a very important in a integration platform. In this documentation, everything is clearly written step by step. Let me open that. See, step by step I have written here. In this lab, you will be working on so and so API. Okay, open 01 resources and methods. Everything step by step, it's clearly written, right? So I have given a screenshots where I required, where I feel a little bit critical. I have given a screenshots of the code as well. Okay, you need to read and you need to practice. That's very easy. You can feel the difference from day 1 to day 22. And these are some dependency files which are related to my program, right? This is a REST application by using a Spring Boot. I have created it, and SOAP application by using a Spring Boot I have created. So in our program, we are going to consume REST applications, SOAP applications by assuming these two are as a third-party applications: product service REST and product service SOAP. Right now, once you read this documentation, where you will practice, there is a mule for workspace AUSD2019. Okay, this is the file name which I have given. Once you extract it, you will be having some predefined projects. For every topic, we have a start and solution project, right? So in this start project, you are going to import this start project to Anypoint Studio. This is the Anypoint Studio. Okay, just let me open that. This is an Anypoint Studio platform where you are going to create your Mule applications. See, I have imported 01 Mule basic start and solution project, and I have grouped under Java module. Okay, we are going to see all these things in a sessions. So 01 Mule basic start we are going to import. Once you import, we have some structure. This is nothing but a Maven structure, right? So we are going to create some Mule applications like this. Okay, I will be teaching how to create a project and how to drag any module. What is a module? What are the connectors? Difference between a module and a connector? Everything we are going to take care. Okay, no need to worry about it. So predefined projects will help in saving the time. Okay, going forward, if you see, if you are in the exceptions, by the time we have completed all the basic concepts. By using the basic concepts, we are going to create some project in order to explain about exceptions. So we are not going to sit and write from scratch. Predefined projects will help you out while you're practicing also. It will help a lot. It will save a lot your time, right? So these are the useful uses of my design structure. So any doubts here? How to practice? First leg is how to practice, how to get a hands-on experience. Any doubt? I can see a few more participants also added. I have not taken the introduction of yours, so we'll see in the last. Any doubts here? If anyone joined in between, if you're not able to understand, please go ahead and ask how it's going to work like that. If everything is clear, next step I will go ahead with the next step. So let me explain the next one. So before going to what are the topics I'm going to cover, first of all, I will tell you what is an ESB. I mean, what is a Mule and how it's work, why it is used. How many of you know about integration? I want this session to be interactive. Can anyone interact with me? What is an someone I came to know that from TIBCO. Okay, whether it is TIBCO or a Mule, whatever it is, what is an integration tool? Why we use this integration tool? Yes. No answers? No response? My sessions will be an interactive sessions only. You need to respond in the ones who join the sessions. So let me explain. So some client came to me and he asked me to develop some web application. Assume that this application name is SmartBricks. Okay, I will give a live example only so that you can understand easily. So there are 3 applications, third-party applications like Amazon, Flipkart, and ShopClose, right? My client requirement, first requirement is, once a user came to his site and he typed for iPhone 11 product, and if you click on search, automatically the request should go to all the three applications. We don't know the third, these three applications are exposed over some web service like REST or SOAP or REST. Maybe, definitely, if you want to integrate or if you want to consume the operations present in a third-party application, definitely the third-party application should expose over some web services like REST or SOAP. Right? We have two types of web services only, REST and SOAP. You need to know what is a web service. That is one of the prerequisite for our course. For any integration knowledge, you require in not only integration, in any IT field, you require some web services knowledge. So two types of web services, REST and SOAP. I will tell you how your application is going to be exposed as a REST. We are going to see that as well. But right now, understand that Amazon application, Flipkart and ShopClose are exposed over some web services. First requirement is concurrently we need to send request to all, because when the client gives a request, the request should go concurrently to all. Second one, how many responses you are going to expect from these three responses. Now his requirement is we need to concatenate the three responses into single response. That is the second requirement. Third requirement is the format. Maybe this Amazon is giving in XML, this Flipkart is giving in JSON, and this ShopClose is giving in some Java format. Right? These are the three formats. My client requirement is what? He want in a JSON format. How we are going to convert these formats, XML, JSON and Java to JSON format. Okay, that is the third requirement, format. Okay, assume these are the three simple requirements we have as of now. Now, whenever a web developer is developing some web application, always he will concentrate on business logic or integration logic. Always he will concentrate on his business logic, not on integration logic. What is an integration logic? See, definitely we need to know, as a developer, we need to know how to communicate with the third-party application. That means the third-party application is exposed over REST. So every application will have some methods, get all products, right? Get product by name. Suppose if we type iPhone 11, based on this name, you need to get a product from the Amazon, from the Flipkart and ShopClose, right? So as a web developer, always you need to concentrate on business logic, which is different. What I am talking here is how to connect to the third-party application is nothing but an integration knowledge, right? Integration logic. Why he will waste his time on integration, how to connect to that? Instead of that, what he will do? He will outsource that requirements to some third-party applications, third-party vendors like who are creating some ESBs. We are going to use a Mule ESB here, right? Now we will write some integration logic. See, whatever the request I am getting here, it will be routed to some ESB. This is nothing but an integration application, right? Now that request is routed to ESB, that means integration application, and I will configure one filter, one component called filter. Don't try to understand about a filter. Assume there is one component which will take this request, and once it takes the request, once the condition is satisfied, then it will send to next component. Now I will configure one more component here. You need to tell what is this component, which takes a single request, and concurrently, what is the first requirement? Concurrently, we need to send a request to three applications. That means we are going to send request to all these three applications. But how many requests we are getting from the client? Web application, only one. How to convert from one to multiple? What is this component name? Can anyone guess? We are daily using at your home. What is this component name? At your home it is available.
Modem.
Router. What is your Wi-Fi router is doing? It will take in single signal into it, and what are the devices you have configured to that router? it is scattering all the signals to all the devices. Same way, it will take single request and it will take a copy of each and copy of that signal. How many applications are required? How many requests are required? 3 requests, and it will be taken into some queues, internal queues. Okay, overall, try to understand the concept. We will be discussing each and everything about ESB, each and every component in detail. Try to understand what is this rectangular box is doing. Right now, after this request, we will be configuring one adapter. This is also assume this is also one of the component which knows how to consume with REST application, SOAP application, and REST application. I will call this as an adapters. REST adapter, SOAP adapter, and REST adapter, which will take this request and integrating with the integrating means consuming the applications, third-party applications. That means the operations present in it. Okay, concurrently we send request to all. First requirement is done. Second requirement is single response. From the three applications, I'm going to get 3 responses. These 3 responses are going to gather by the router in different formats. Right now, first we need to concatenate these 3 responses into single response by using some transformer. There is a component called transformer. What it will do? It will take these 3 responses as an input. It will convert into single one. That means it will nest 3 responses into single response, and it will be given back to the client. Right? But what is the third requirement? These 3 applications are 3 responses are in different format. This transformer only will convert into desired format, and it will be given back to the client. That client, what he will do, he will take this code and he will display on his application. Here web developer, what he will do, he will create some presentation layer. By using this presentation layer, that presentation means what? Whatever the code we are getting, he will put it into some format like color, what is the font size to be used, and everything. Right? So we are acting as an integration tool in between. Okay, we are going to talk about this example again once the session starts in detail. Try to understand here. Now we are using some integration. We are nothing but an integration part. Okay, we are integrating 2 applications. This is one application, this is one application. We are integrating 2 applications, right, by using some ESB, enterprise service bus. Why we are calling this as a bus? My request is traveling from one location to another location through some set of components, channels, and everything. If you want to travel from one location to another location, normally you will take a bus kind of a bus like a structure. Similarly, my request also using a bus like structure to travel from one location to another location, right? So finally, what we are doing here in integration, why the name mule came, what you are doing, what is a mule? First of all, tell me what is a donkey works. Donkey, what the donkey will do? It will carry goods from one place to another. Here, what we are doing, we are carrying the data from one place to another place. Donkey work we are doing. So why the mule name came? You can see the logo as well. Mule logo. It will be an front face of a donkey. Okay. So we are using a mule ESB, mule product. Okay, ESB is a normal common one. We are using a mule. Okay, that's why we'll call mule ESB. I will talk about this. What is ES, enterprise service? Why we'll call it as an enterprise service bus? Okay, we'll talk about that later. So in our sessions, we are going to learn how to create this ESBs. Okay, before that, let me explain this life cycle of a ESB, life cycle of a project. Now, first we'll get the requirements from the client. As per these requirements, we are going to design. Design means we are going to establish some contract by using some technology called RAML. RAML is nothing but a RESTful API modeling language. So see in the previous picture, previous diagram, this is our application, right? This rectangular box is nothing but our application, mule application, integration application. If 2 applications want to speak with each other, integrate with each other, definitely, see, suppose this client application is going to integrate with my mule application. Definitely my Mule application should expose over some web services. Web service is nothing but an universal structure design, right? So whatever the features available in your Mule application are going to be exposed to outside world through some web service. Definitely you need to expose your service by using some web service. In Mule we are going to use REST as a web service to see, this rectangular box is nothing but an ESB, and we are going to use REST and RAML. RAML is nothing but a RESTful API modeling language. By using the RAML and by using the RESTful web services, we are exposing to outside world. Anyone can use our service, but whenever they are using a service, they need to follow such kind of a structure. This is nothing but an API. Someone will call this API as a web service. Someone will call this API as a contract. Someone will call this API as a design. Everything is same. So first, as per the requirements, we are going to design the contract. Once you design, next one is creating the application. That means implementation. As per the design, for every design, we are going to write a code implementation. Once the implementation is done, we are going to deploy. Where we are going to deploy? Some server required, some runtime required to deploy your Mule application. Mule has given a tool called Mule Runtime. Okay, the version right now we are using is 4. Right, that's why you call Mule 4. Okay, that is the latest version. Right now the version of the very latest version is 4.2.2. 4.2.2 is the latest version of a runtime. And to do the differences, we need to remember the studio where you are going to develop. Okay, it start with the 7. Where you are going to deploy, the runtime version is 4. Don't get confused between 7 and 4. 7 is the studio version. 4 is the runtime version. Studio is used to develop your application as per the requirement. Runtime is to deploy your developed applications. Okay, I think you got a clarity between that and this. And this is the life cycle. First design. Always the code first or contract first approach is very good. Contract first. When you are purchasing, when you are constructing your house, you will use what? First you will follow design. Once the design is there, then you are going to define. That means you are going to build. Same here. First we will design the contract. As per that contract, we are going to define. While defining, we are going to use a bus ESB. First we will see how to construct a house. That means we'll see how to build Mule application. Okay, at the last we will see about what is an API, how to design based on some requirements. Again, at the time of API part, I am going to talk about each and every step and entire life cycle. First, around 15 to 16 sessions, I will be talking only on this implementation logics by using some modules, connectors, and everything. Once you know about all this stuff, how to build our house, then we are going to see the design. According to the design, we are going to do the implementation. Okay, this is the life cycle, and this is about our sessions. First, we will talk about ESBs, then about APIs. Normally, if you see any training on ESBs and Mule, first they will talk about APIs. See, but straight away, if I talk about APIs, 90% of people will not understand the concepts. So my approach is, first I will talk about the building blocks, how to construct, what are the implementations, what a Mule application contains, what are the modules contains. Once you have some idea, basic idea about or fundamental idea about that, straight away you can just jump onto the APIs. At that point of time, if I talk about APIs, it makes some sense. So I have designed in such a way. Understand about what is a Mule? Any doubts here? Are we connected? Mule is having some code. Very good question. Rajesh asked some question here. Mule is 0 code or 0% code or something else. Actually, everything is a configuration based in Mule, right? Everything is a configuration. If you want to connect to the third-party application, already connectors are available. Simply you need to connect to that by using some configurations. But where the code will come into the picture, MuleSoft has given some a code. To develop some code, they are using some DWL language, data view language. Okay, this is invented by Mule itself. They have started from 3.4, Mule 3.4, and in Mule 4 especially they are using a data view. In Mule 3 till 3.9 they have MEL as well, Mule expression language combination they use, but in Mule 4 they have removed this MEL. They are starting with they already have DWL, they are more into DWL now. It's kind of a language when it is used in the transformer in order to convert from one format to another format. Suppose, see, Amazon is giving for iPhone 11 the field name as cost. Flipkart is giving as price. But but my client required the values to be placed in some variable called price. Okay, how to extract these values from the third-party applications and how to map that values to price field. In order to do such modifications, we require data view language. Okay, it's a very powerful tool, very powerful language. Transformer is a very powerful tool in this Mule, especially. Right. So we have two sessions for the transformer, and I will be talking about many operators in data view language. Okay, which help a lot. Right. Yeah. Any doubts still?
So Sujit, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So DW language in the sense, it will be similar like Java, or else how it will be like?
Normal, any not only Java, any language, like it has some operators, libraries, everything.
Okay, so it will be similar like Java.
Similar to Java, but we cannot say it is a Java, similar kind of a Java. But when if you want to know about data view, there is a separate documentation for that.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
When the requirement comes, according to the requirement, we can go ahead and check for that. But I will show the concept here, how to use the data view language.
Okay, yeah.
And I have a separate course for data view. It's an 8 hours course. I'm going to start from the next week for the world students. Okay, this is a different course. Only I will be talking about data view language.
Okay.
Any doubts? Should I show real-time example for this example? Let me go ahead. What is the application name which I used in example? SmartBricks, right? See, this is an application. Assume SmartBricks application is a client to me. He asked me to develop some web application. So if any customer, if any user type product details like iPhone 11, okay, which is the latest one, iPhone 11 Pro is the latest one, right? If you want to know about details of this iPhone 11 in different e-commerce websites, if we click on search button, internally it should trigger the request to all the applications present, e-commerce applications. Okay, when they are developing this SmartBricks application, internally they used some ESB in order to sense all these requirements, in order to satisfy these requirements. Now if you click on this one of the product, just go down, you can see different e-commerce websites are giving the values. See, these are the values coming from Tata Click. Especially concentrate on price now. This price field is the requirement of my client. Okay, the field name is price. But do you mean that Tata Click also is having the value with the same field price? Maybe it is having some cost. Paytm is having some rate. Such kind of fields. Now what we are doing as an integration developer, we are connecting to that and extracting the values, and we are modifying and we are mapping that values to price here. Okay, that's what we are doing. That code will be given to the web developer. What he will do, he will develop that, and he will develop the presentation layer like color, font size, and everything, and he will be displayed on the application. That's what they are doing, right? So web developer will always look such kind of services are ready-madely available in the exchange or not. Such kind of integration logics, it's already available. They can simply select that and you can use it. instead of writing a code by himself. Okay, that is the use of an ESB. We will discuss that in detail. Okay, as of now, try to understand it's an integration tool, and what else? That's an integration tool. As of now, try to understand only that. Any doubts here? If no, I will go to the next one. We are not done yet with. Yeah, guys, please respond. Any doubts?
No.
Okay, next. What are the topics we are going to cover here? Okay, and these topics are handpicked. What are the important topics in training? We cannot cover all the topics in Mule. Around 300 modules are there in Mule. So major topics, major components, connectors, modules. What are the major? We are going to discuss here. So I will not going to talk about the subtopics in which many people are not from integration background, and time is also running out. So I will just read out the head topics, like what is a Mule introduction. I'll just summarize it. We are going to see what is a point-to-point integration, what are the problems we have with the point-to-point, how to overcome by using an ESB, and what is an orchestration, what is a Mule. Okay, in orchestration concept is very common in Mule, integration platform, right? So I will be explaining with a diagram so that you can remember forever. And what is a Mule application, how to create a Mule application, what is a Anypoint platform, what are the tools it contains. Okay, everything by completion of this first module, in the first 2 sessions, you'll understand what is a Mule entirely, right? Next, we will move on to module 2, Mule basics. That means we are going to write with a basic hello world program by using a Mule application, right? When I'm explaining about that, it's a very important session. Once you understand this concept, remaining topics are cakewalk for you. So don't skip this session. First 2 3 sessions are very important in order to understand about the basics of Mule. We are going to create a Mule application. While creating a Mule application, what is the flow? How it what we are going to write where we are going to write some orchestration logics, and how to create a project, what is an inbound outbound endpoints, what is a transformer, what is a Mule flow, and we are going to introduce some data view expression, small data view expression in this module 2. It is very early to introduce data view, but in order to extract the values of a payload, we are going to use data view expressions. Okay, for every session we have a lab, as I shown in the earlier of the session. There is a documentation. Go to the documentation. Documentation nothing but a lab document. Okay, you can go through that and you can practice it. And as I said, Mule 4 is a modularized. Modularized means every module will have some connectors. See here, there is a Java module. Okay, this is about a Java module. Here we can see there is a Java. It's a module. Every module will have some connectors. By using this connector, we can connect to the external system. That's why it's called a connector, right? Connectors are placed in a module. Okay, group of connectors are nothing but a module here, related module, right? Why we use Java module? Suppose if your application is having some Java code, okay, legacy system, if you are having a Java code, how to consume the methods present in it? Like first, in this Java module session, first half an hour, I will be talking about what is a Java class, what are the methods present in it. Okay, once you have that knowledge, then we will be shifting on to the Mule application. By using a Java module in Mule, how to consume a methods present in a Java class, right? So we have a lab session for that. And till this module 3, we have developed your application by using an Anypoint Studio, and you are going to deploy through Studio itself. Because for this Studio, Mule runtime, that means server, will be acting as a plugin, right? But in a production, in real-time scenarios, Anypoint Studio will be not available in the production. Only Anypoint Studio is for development. Once you extract that application out of that studio, where you will deploy, we require some server, real-time server, runtime server. So you need to have a standalone server. You need to purchase with a Mule server. So once you have standalone server, how to deploy your applications onto the standalone server? We have 3 deployment strategies. One is on-premises, manually, how to deploy, and one is hybrid model. Server will be, application will be deploying on a on-premises, but you can manage through cloud. That is hybrid model. And third one is on cloud. Everything is on cloud. Management, deployment, everything is on cloud. Mule is having their platform called Cloud Hub. Cloud Hub is a platform, and Mule is nothing but an iPaaS, integration platform as a service. It will give some platform, right? So here we'll see in module C, module 4, we'll talk about how to deploy our applications in a standalone by using a runtime manager. Runtime manager is nothing but a cloud. Okay. Of course, I'm going a little bit fast now because the topics are and running out of time. Just quickly read these topics. What are the topics we are going to cover? Consuming web services. As an integration developer, whether it is Mule, whatever it is, whenever you are integrating with a third-party application, we need to know how to consume a REST application, how to consume a SOAP application. Because in this picture also you can see these third-party applications are exposed to REST and SOAP, right? So we need to know how to consume a REST and how to consume a SOAP. We have some connectors in Mule in order to consume that respective web services. We have a 2 lab sessions for that. And file endpoint, how to connect to your file, how to read a particular data in a file, and how to use a matcher, and how to write to your file. And we'll see one more watermarking concept here itself. What is a watermarking? Okay, how it will store the previous invocation state of your application. Okay, everything we'll see in this file endpoint, and we have a lab session for that. And database endpoint, how to connect to the external database. So right now in this Mule, it is explicitly supporting 5 major vendors like Oracle database, Microsoft SQL, MySQL, Derby. If you are having your own database, you can use a generic connection. There is a generic connection option. You can connect by using that, by using some credentials. So in this session, we will see how to connect to a database and how to externalize the property files, and to migrate between the environments, and how to secure your property files. Okay, we will be seeing around 2 sessions we have for this database connection and externalization and security, right? And we have multiple labs for that. As I said, watermarking is a separate concept. We'll be discussing in the file endpoint as well. Okay, and object store, where we are going to store, where it is going to store about the invocation, previous invocation state. Okay, the place name is object store. We will see in detail. And we have a domains project. What is a domain project? By default, all the projects of Mule will be deployed under some domain called default. How to customize that domain? What is a domain? How to create a domain project? Everything we'll see in the domains project, right? I mean, particular module. If you want to speak about what is a domain, see, project 1, project 2, project 3 are having some common configurations like database configuration. So as a developer, always you need to think how to reduce the redundant code. What is the idea you'll get immediately? If there is any common code, we will externalize that. So assume that Mule is a totally of configurations. Assume that in Mule, we have 3 projects. All 3 projects are having some common configurations. How to externalize these common configurations? Externalize means we need some project. We are going to write into some other project called domain project. MuleSoft has given such feature, domains project. We will be writing all the common configurations in the domain project. And when you are going to deploy the project 1, simply we will refer this project 1 to domain project. At the time of deployment, all the common configurations present in domain project will be inherited to the project 1. Like that, once you externalize to some other place and refer it whenever you are deploying the local projects. Okay, we are going to see very in-depth how to refer, how to create, and what are the duplicate dependencies, how to remove that. Okay, everything we'll see in the domains. And routing concepts. Just if anyone asks you what you have done, any show some small sample project of Mule application, simply use scatter gather example. Till now, what are the concepts learned? Based on that, we are going to create some project by using this scatter gather. Scatter gather, here can you say this router is nothing but a scatter gather router, because it is scattering all the requests. So I mean, it is scattering the single request into multiple requests and gathering all the responses. So scatter gather is also one of the control flows. Okay, choice router is also one of the control flow, because choice router will work based on some condition. When the condition is satisfied, then only it will go to the second route. If else, we can call it as an if else. Okay, we can see implementation of scatter gather project in this module 10. And the transformers. 1 and 2. See this, as I said, transformer is a very powerful tool here. In this transformer, we are going to see data view expressions, especially data view. What are the, how to convert from one format to another format, and how to map input to output. As an integration developer, definitely you need to know what is an input request and what is the outgoing response. Okay, both the formats you need to know. Once you define that in the transformer, simply you can map instead of writing a data view expressions. I'm going to show how to map it, how to use multiple operators, how to create a function, how to create a variable. Many things we are going to see in this transformers 1 and 2. We have multiple sessions for that, 2 sessions, multiple labs for that too. And exception handling, it's a very interesting topic. When you compare with the Mule 3 to Mule 4, it's a total change. Mule 3 to Mule 4 is a very total change. Okay, that's why I've given a PPT for only for exception handling, and it's one of my interesting topic. I mean, very interesting topic. In this session, we'll see what is an on-error continuous scope and what is an on-error propagate scope. What is a Mule default error handler? What is an application default error handler? And how to raise your customized errors, how to raise a particular error, how to handle the errors. Okay, everything we are going to see in this error handling. We have 2 sessions for this. Next, MUnit. MUnit is not part of certification program, but I feel as a developer, you need to know about a MUnit. MUnit is nothing but a testing framework. If anyone worked on Java, they might have known about a JUnit. Similar kind of framework is MUnit. M means mule. If you want to write any test cases for your Mule applications as a developer, you can write by using this MUnit framework. It will be acting as a plugin to the studio. See, if you want to write test cases for this, just right click on this, create MUnit suite. We'll call those as a suits. Okay, just right click and click on that. Automatically one suite will be created. Okay, we can write multiple tests on this. This is nothing but a test. Okay, we are going to write unit testing, integration testing, multiple testing scenarios, I mean some assertion logics, everything here. And till now all the concepts, that means how about ESB concept, how to drive the implementations like that. From module 5 onwards, we are going to talk about an APIs. We are going to develop some banking application. For that the banking application, I have some requirements. As per that requirements, we are going to design the API. Before designing the API, first of all, you need to know what is the power of an API. What is the API-led connectivity approach? What is an application network, API network? In order to understand about that, we are going to see different type of layers, modern API layers. 3: experience layer, process layer, and system layer. We are going to see with a use case. Once you understand the power of an API in this module, next we are going to design the API of your banking application requirements. In this design and managing parts, we will see from starting off how to design API, how to identify the resources. Once you identify how you are going to design the RAML file. Let me show a simple example of a RAML file. See, this is an Anypoint platform. You need to have an account with the Anypoint platform. Okay, 1 second. Once I have an account, I will show you how to create an account, everything. Once you have an account, once you click on login, by default it will not route to this page. It will route to mulesoft.com. Okay, this is an Anypoint platform where you are, it's based on cloud. Now it is having some menu like Design Center, Exchange, right? So in the second session, I'm going to talk one-liner about Design Center, Exchange, everything. These all are the APIs which I have created recently, which we can see here. Let me open one of the API where we can design our API, Design Center. Okay. Of course, I will show a step by step later, but let me show you what is this Design Center, how it is going to design. Once you click on that API, you can see already designed APIs. 1 second. So it's not available right now. Let me create one so that I can show you. So see, whatever just now I shown you, that is nothing but a connector which I have developed. Whatever your application you are going to create API, Okay, that will be converted as a connector. Internally, it will use REST connect technology. Just click on this design. I just want to show you the RAML. What is the structure of a RAML? RAML is nothing but some syntax. You need to follow some syntax while you are creating. So this is some RAML file which I have created. Customers is one of the resource. For this resource, I want client want to support get method and post method only. Not anything else. That means it's nothing but a contract. Whenever anyone using your Sujit Banking API as a service, definitely they need to follow this kind of a structure. That is nothing but a contract. As per this contract, we are going to define the implementations in the AnyPoint Studio. Okay, this is the cycle. So this is nothing but an API. Okay, I'm going to show from the scratch, from starting from the first line itself. Okay, no need to worry. It's a very huge documentation I have given. You can practice a lot. Right. So we are going to design API. How we are going to publish that onto the exchange. Once you publish onto the exchange, how it is getting converted into connector, this API. And when they come to the managing part, as an API owner, always you need to think about a security. Okay, that means if you want to apply, if you want to know whether the request is coming from the authorized client or unauthorized client, how you'll identify? You need to apply some security policies to your API. How to apply some security policies to your API? We are going to see in the managing APIs. Okay, we have a huge lab documentation for that, as is shown in the starting. Where it is, something here. Sorry. Yeah, you can see this is the RAML part 1. I have given with the screenshots how to create your custom data types. Everything I am going to see in this RAML. Okay, in depth we are going to see. Okay, so that takes us to end of our sessions. Okay, and some prerequisites. JSON is one of the prerequisite, and XML is one of the prerequisite, and Maven. Okay, these are the 3. Of course, in which ways you need to know about web services. What is the structure of a JSON? You are not going to write any structure of a JSON, but in order to understand, if you see when any structure out response, automatically you need to understand like what kind of structure it is. JSON is one of the structure, XML is one of the structure. At least if you know the basics, it's very good. And in Mule4, everything is a Maven project, Mavenized. All projects are Mavenized by default. You need to know what is a Maven, right? Next, what are the documents I'm going to give? All the lab documents. In order to clear the certification, I'm going to give some set of questions. Okay, certification questions which help a lot. In last week, one of my student wrote exam. He got 90% of questions from this certification which I've given the questions. So I cannot give guarantee for everyone. You can feel the patterns. Okay, same kind of patterns you will be getting. Sometimes the same questions will be repeating. So combination of my training program, the certification questions, I'm confident enough that you can clear the certification. I have trained the person from the biology. He's a biologist. He's a PhD in a biologist. He cleared the MuleSoft certification. Now you can feel the confidence, right? So how to practice, I already told you. Okay, that's all from my end. If you have any queries, please post. Please post the questions.
Hey Sujit, this is Praju. So
Yeah,
how long is this course, the total hours?
Very good. This course is of 22 hours. 22 hours total, depends on the participants. I need to switch the gears. 22 working hours.
Okay, thanks.
No labs, no labs involved in it. Only my part is a 22. You need to do the lab sessions on your own, based on the documentation which I have given to you. If you have any queries, you can post anytime. I will be giving my mail ID.
Okay. And so like regarding the prerequisites, like how about like, for example, like if you take me, I don't have any knowledge on the web service or JSON, XML.
That's what I said. The basics are required. Only basics. See, if you're not having any knowledge on web services, I will suggest some YouTube channel. Okay, which I liked a lot. If you definitely will come to know within 15-20 minutes what is a web service. Only the idea, in order to understand the program.
Understood. Okay.
And JSON, so basic, XML basic. Everything in basics are enough.
Okay, understood. And so what like so after this course, so in Mule like you just offer only this course, or also there is something like called advanced after this too?
That's what data view. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, you were
especially
saying that.
focusing on data view. It's an 8 hours
Okay.
course again. Okay, if you want to learn depth in the data view, that course will help a lot in the real times.
Oh, okay. You offer these two. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Offer in the
thanks.
sense it's not along with this. It's a separate course.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like to do separate courses. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
It is not. I mean, I have not published that course to vendors as well, but it's my own course. Still, I have not published to outside world.
Okay.
Next week,
Thanks.
I'm going to start with that. And Ashish, you're asking about provide interview guidance. See, preparation for the certification itself an interview, because in interviews also they are asking about the scenarios only, not like 2 years back. If you put in resume that you are a certified developer, straight away they will be taken. But right now it's not like that. See, my concepts are well explained, and it will help a lot in order to clear the certification, because you will be at the end of the 22 sessions you will be understanding the concepts. Whatever the questions they ask, you can simply answer that. If you are able to clear the certification means, if you are ready to clear the certification means, you are well prepared for the interview as well. Yeah. Any questions?
I'm sorry, like one more question. So like as you are saying, like you right now just you are saying about that, like before, like when you just see the certification, they used to give the job, but now it's not like that. Like, can you mention the reason?
See, in the resume you mentioned that I am a certified developer. Previously the resources were not available, so they would have taken me. Right now it's not like that.
Oh, there's a plenty of resources, huh?
Resources are, see, now already Mule 4 came 2 years back, 1.5 year, 2 years back. So by that time they deployed the people, right, for their projects.
Understood.
Now the interview panel will be having some knowledge, so they will be asking some questions scenario based. You need to answer that.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry
Understood.
about all the stuff. Once you join, automatically you will be feel the confidence.
Okay, understood. Thanks, Vijay.
Yeah, thank you. Any doubts, guys? Please post the questions. If you are not able to ask the questions on the forum, you can put it on the chat. One more thing, can you please ping your mail ID and the vendor name on the chat window privately to me? Don't disclose on the forum. I'm just stopping the recording.